So it all comes down to this today and tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, we're going to know who our next prime minister is, whether we are healed or whether we are going to continue to be in a broken country. This is absolutely insane. And there's so much different data on the internet showing who's winning, who's losing, this and that. And it's just getting very, very confusing. My piece of advice is that go with your gut instinct. If you think that one party is getting more people showing up at rallies and has more support in person and online, then that's your gut instinct. If you think that another party is crooked and lying and full of crap, then that's probably a pretty good instinct. In order, I'm talking about the conservatives and the liberals. But hey, that's just one guy's opinion. And we've been seeing the results happen online to back up all of that data. So we're going to take a look at some of these polls, conflicting data. We're also going to be taking a look at this act of terrorism that happened in Vancouver at a festival where this dude just plowed through people until the car literally stopped. It's absolutely disgusting. And then we're going to finish off with some incredible rejoicing words that Pierre Poilievre said at his recent rally that is just showing that he is a beacon of hope and people are just so excited for change. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage you all to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. I do really appreciate it. And we're going to talk about how to protect yourself online. The best way to do that is actually with today's sponsor. I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Private Internet Access. We're offering my audience 83% off for using code SUNSHINE, which can be found linked down below in the description or the pinned comment below. We're living in a crazy time of censorship here in Canada, and that's all thanks to Justin Trudeau, or whoever the hell is really calling the shots with the Liberal Party since he resigned, but not really resigned. He wants to make sure you can't see the news. He also wants to make sure that you can't access certain content on Netflix, on Hulu, and on Disney Plus, which we all know if you listen to Chrystia Freeland, you shouldn't have Disney Plus. So the way around this is with a VPN such as Private Internet Access. For those who don't know what a VPN is, it's a way to encrypt your data. It's like putting a cloak over yourself so you can freely browse the internet without feeling like your personal information is at risk, or the government getting and then selling your personal information. The best way that I like to go about this, the best cloak that I like to use, is Private Internet Access, which again can be found linked down below in the description or the pinned comment below, or simply using code SUNSHINE. Thank you so much, Private Internet Access, for sponsoring today's video. Without further ado, let's get right into this video. So 338 polling was reported as down yesterday. It was offline for whatever reason. Kind of crazy. 3 days before an election. But as you can see here, 338 polling is showing what it has been. It's just kind of very weird and manipulated polls. But then when you head over to Innovative Research Group, it's actually showing that Pierre is in the lead. Conservatives are blue, and you can see that Pierre is right at 41 and the Liberals are at 39. I think the biggest factors in this election are really going to come down to Ontario and Quebec. And in Quebec, Yves-François Poutine has been doing a phenomenal job of rallying and getting the Quebec people to vote for the Bloc Québécois. Of course, that makes sense. But the media wants you to think that Quebec is somehow going to leave from voting Bloc Québécois and become a liberal stronghold. I don't think that that makes any sense at all, and I'm going to go with my gut instinct on that. But now let's get into what's going on with this breaking news story that is coming out of Vancouver, because it's absolutely disgusting what has happened, and it's classified from my perspective as an act of terrorism.
People are dead, more are injured after a driver plows through a street festival in the city's east side. Police say a 30-year-old man is in custody. Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim calls the incident horrific. Witnesses are in shock. A warning, though, viewers may find some of the footage disturbing.
There's never been something like this that has ever happened in our neighborhood. We live in a peaceful city, and it's not right that something like this would happen.
Okay, so we're not actually going to take a look at the footage because it is rather disgusting. And I mean, there's just body parts and people laying around. Like it's disgusting. Even though it's kind of blurred out by the media, it's disgusting. So let's take a look now at what police authorities are saying about the matter.
Male in his 30s drove through. The suspect was known to police in certain circumstances.
So we had a conversation with MLA Mabel Elmore and also other organizers of the Lapu-Lapu event, and also from Filipino BC, and also we send our condolence to the victim and also the friends and family of the victims.
I definitely don't want to jump on an opportunity of politicizing this event, but dude, even the cops are saying, yeah, we know who this guy was. He had previous dealings with police, and whoops, like it's just disgusting. And it sucks that it has to get to this point where there's actual repercussions for being soft on crime. Like, I hate to say it. I know politicians might not be saying it, but somebody has to. And this is the real effects of a crappy government. Like I might come across as just a piece of garbage for using politics and tying it to this horrible event. But dude, man, you have instances like this of people that are known by the police 2 days before an election committing this act of terror, killing people and injuring people. Like, please, for the love of God, we need some change in this country. This can't happen anymore. This can't happen. And there's been so many instances of things that are similar to this, but not to the extent of killing people or killing this many people, or I guess murdering, right? But you have so many repeat criminals that just get let back out. It hurts me, man. Like, it makes me want to just cry almost. Like, it's so freaking sad that this is where our country is. Oh my goodness. It's just so gross. I don't know what else to say about it.
Police have set up a 24-hour assistance center for anyone affected by the incident. It happened at the Douglas Park Community, or it's set up at the Douglas Park Community Center. Liberal leader Mark Carney reacting to the news, saying he is devastated to hear about the horrific events at the Lapu-Lapu.
That's correct. Mark Carney did have some words to say, and I do have that speech pulled up. Here we go. It's only a few minutes. Let's take a look.
Good morning, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. Late yesterday evening, I and all Canadians were shocked, devastated, and heartbroken. What we know at this time is that at the Lapu-Lapu Festival in Vancouver, an occasion to gather and to celebrate the vibrancy of the Filipino-Canadian community, 9 people were killed, and more than 20 were injured in what the Vancouver police are describing as a car ramming attack. I would like to commend the quick and compassionate actions of those at the scene and of our first responders. An investigation is ongoing to determine how and why this horrific attack occurred. Authorities have confirmed that one person is in custody, and it is believed that they acted alone. Overnight, I was briefed by my national security and intelligence advisor and the public safety minister about the situation. Currently, we do not believe that there is any active threat to Canadians. I and my ministers are also closely engaged with local law enforcement, along with provincial.
How can you say that there's no active threat to Canadians? Like, this might not have been a militia or organized by another country, but yeah, there is an active threat to Canadians. I'm sorry, but Prime Minister, who's going to be not the prime minister in a couple of days, hopefully, right? There is an active threat to Canadians, and it's the criminals. The criminals are just all going about their lives, released on bail, out into the streets. So yeah, there is an active threat. It doesn't have to be Russia or China or America or whatever country that these people try to pin things on, right? And they try to always have a bad guy. The bad guy is them. The bad guy is these liberals for allowing this crap to happen in the first place. Like, I'm just sick. I'm sick and tired of mourning deaths in Canada from stuff like this. Am I the only one here? Like, let me know down in the comments. Are you sick and tired of this crap? Because we have an opportunity right now, today and tomorrow, to fix it and fix it for good by voting for the right party.
And municipal officials, and they have the full support of the federal government. My team has also been in touch with the Premier's office and the Vancouver Mayor's office, and later today I intend to speak with David Eby and Ken Sim. Last night, families lost a sister, a brother, a mother, a father, a son, or a daughter. Those families are living every family's nightmare. And to them and to the many others who were injured, to the Filipino-Canadian community, and to everyone in the broader Lower Mainland, Vancouver, I would like to offer my deepest condolences and my wishes for strength and compassion in this tragic time. I know that I join all Canadians in mourning with you. I know that Canadians are united with you. To le Canada est avec vous.
I'm sick and tired of these speeches. I'm sick and tired of these speeches. Shouldn't be happening. They shouldn't be happening. If there's an attack, it shouldn't be from our own criminals, man. That's absurd. Known by the police, probably, previously in police custody. I'm just sick and tired of these same stories happening. It boils my freaking blood. Like, let me know down in the comments if you feel that same sentiment, or let me know if I'm politicizing something I shouldn't politicize. But I'm genuinely, this breaks my freaking heart, man. It takes an emotional toll on people that consume this when it happens. Not just us watching it, but the people that are there, the people that are no longer there, the loved ones, right? There's 2-3 degrees of separation. We all kind of know each other. 5 degrees of separation. We all kind of know each other in this country. Like, this is absurd. And consuming this type of news, hearing about this, it just breaks people's hearts. And we all want it to stop. And it's only getting worse. I'm freaking at my limit, man. I'm at my freaking limit. Let's take a look now at what CTV is saying about Pierre Poilievre and how he's apparently giving off Trump vibes. Like, he's not at all. Who cares? Who cares? This isn't America. We're Canada. It's Pierre and Carney. They're their own people. I hate the media trying to freaking make him seem like Trump. He's his own person.
Most polling numbers show a close race between the Liberals and Conservatives. The Liberals are still in the lead at 43%, 4 points ahead of the Conservatives, who have just under 39%, the NDP at 8%. And moving on to the preferred prime minister front, Mark Carney is holding a 13-point lead with 48.5% support. Pierre Poilievre is in second place at just over 35%. And Jagmeet Singh is in third with 4.5%. And let's bring in our CTV News political commentator, Scott Reed. Scott, thanks as always for joining us.
Morning, Roger.
Let's talk first, those numbers we just pulled up there. The gap is now about 4 points, 5 points. Does that surprise you that it's closing again?
Not really. If anything, maybe it looks like it's settled in a pinch. It seems to be frozen at that point. Look, there's really one number that people are looking at right now. When you talk to campaigns, they're looking at the spread in Ontario. And that explains why Pierre Poilievre, is in the GTA all day. Because if that number remains 5, 6, 7 points to the advantage of the Liberals, they will win a bushel full of seats in the province of Ontario, particularly in what we call the Golden Horseshoe, the ring around Toronto, going right down to Niagara. If the Conservatives can get it close, they believe that their get out the vote machine, that their motivated voters gives them an advantage, and that a tie in the polls would actually represent an advantage on election night for them. So that's what they're doing. They're putting the focus on Ontario. They're really trying to make the press in the Golden Horseshoe. That's what happens when you get to the very final day of campaigning and the polls look tight.
And what do you make of Carney going across the prairies? They've mostly haven't touched the prairies that much, have they?
Well, actually, he's been to Alberta a number of times, and this will be the second time they've been into Saskatoon. Been to BC multiple times. BC is another big battleground there. Basically, according to the polls, neck and neck. I think Nick has them. Our pal Nick Nanos has them literally tied. I think with like sort of 39 or 40% each. So it's not surprising. This is also a little bit of a tradition among some leaders. I know my boss, Prime Minister Paul Martin, we'd like to do a cross-country swing on the final day of the campaign, leave it all on the table, get to every point you can. But look, the Liberals still believe that they're going to pick up a couple seats in Alberta. They think they can win maybe 2 in Calgary, hoping for a couple or more in Edmonton. They think they have a shot at a seat or 2 in Saskatoon. And they definitely want to get to British Columbia. And with the tragic events occurring there overnight, that's going to put a completely new complexion, not just on the BC leg of this trip, but on the campaign day overall for all the leaders.
And with that, let's go look. I just want to look back for a second too. Is there anything that has stood out for you on this campaign from each leader that maybe they should have done or shouldn't have done?
Well, I think that there's a couple things to look at. First, I'm not even going to focus on the NDP because I think they're almost in a situation where it's not clear to me that Jagmeet Singh had it available to him to do anything to reverse the sort of structural forces that were happening. Trump obviously dictated the beginning of this campaign. That, in combination with a number of other factors, left the NDP on the sideline. Now, the Conservative and the Liberal leader. The Liberals spring to a big lead on the basis of Trump, tariffs, people's belief that Mark Carney is better to take on this set of issues. And I think one of the things that's interesting to watch is that in the second half of the campaign, there was less Trump, fewer interventions and belligerence from the Oval Office, and we saw that the Conservatives started to mount something of a rally. So I think one of the issues that will haunt the Liberal campaign is might they have done something more to keep the focus vigorously and resonantly on that set of issues, on the bilateral relationship, on Mark Carney's strengths as leader. So that's issue number one. For the Conservatives, they got off to such a bad step. They seemed so out of step. And many times, in many ways, folks observed that even as Pierre Poilievre was criticizing Donald Trump and bringing rough language about his tariff threats, he appeared to exude Trump. That his manner, his campaign, the Trumpy comments to reporters, that he gave off a Trump vibe. And I think their inability to correct that in the first 10 days really harmed them.
Okay, Scott, thank you as always, sir.
Thanks a lot, Roger.
No, he's not giving off Trump vibes at all. They're trying. This is purposely slander. They're trying to pin him to somebody who has not so good of a reputation in Canada, or especially by the media. It's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely freaking disingenuous, man. And I can't stand to see it. I gotta call it out every single time I see it. So that's pretty much all of the news. And now we're going to take a look at some of the clips, these hopeful moments that Pierre Poilievre is giving, that he's given people in Canada at his most recent rally. Here we go.
Wow, what an incredible crowd we have here. Look at the size of this. Amazing. Have you all been out to vote for change already? Are you going to gather up your friends to vote for change? You're going to drag them out to the polling station and make sure they get it done for a change. Because time is running out. Only one more day to bring home change so that Canadians can afford food and homes and live on safe streets. You have to get out and vote to make it happen. Now, before I get into the substance of my remarks, I think we should all take a moment to acknowledge the terrible tragedy that unfolded late yesterday in British Columbia. All of our hearts and prayers are today with Canada's brilliant and proud Filipino community who've lost so much. I ask you to say a little prayer for all of those who are without a loved one today, or who may have lost their lives themselves. We unite as Canadians in honoring all of them, and we take inspiration from the lives that they lived. Thank you very much. My friends, today is a day to unite our country, to bring our people together, to look forward with optimism and hope to the future that can be. And Anna described that future in telling her family story. It's a story that many of you have experienced. Coming here with very little, building a business, starting a family, building a life. A story of Canada where anyone from anywhere can achieve anything. Or it doesn't matter if you've been here for 6 weeks or 6 generations. If you're prepared to put your shoulder to the wheel, you can move forward and achieve anything you want. That's the story that allowed me to be on this stage. It's why I'm so grateful to be Canadian, and it's why I'm in politics today. But that promise, right now, is broken after the lost Liberal decade. Housing costs have literally doubled. They've risen faster than at any time in Canadian history, more than in any other G7 country. I meet young people every day who believe they'll never be able to afford a home in Canada. And you got one right there? Yeah. How old are you? 23. And you want to own a home? Start a family? Build a life? And you have hope today that we can vote for that change and give you that chance? You will. We hear the stories of, I love you too. I love all of you. And it's been the privilege of my life to fight for all of you. And our work is just beginning, because starting tomorrow, we're going to be bringing change to all of Canada.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, it'd be super awesome for you guys to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and just remember, supporting the sponsor of this channel is also a phenomenal way to help this channel grow. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye for now.